Welcome to today's live reading from Ramayana, the story of Lord Ram. We are at the moment reading from the Uttarkand, and let's continue with our reading. Ravan suddenly rushed at Indra, but the king of heaven drove him back with torrents of weapons. The fear-stricken Rakshasas considered themselves to be defeated. Excuse me. Meghnad was outraged and thus invisibly entered the demigod army and came before the heavenly king. Sending forth incessant streams of arrows, Meghnad was able to exhaust Indra and thereupon bound him by the mystic powers he had acquired from Lord Brahma. Seeing how Ravan was being overpowered by the demigods, the invisible Meghnad announced to his father, "You should retreat from the battle, for I have already taken Indra captive. Since victory is yours, there is no need to continue fighting." Hearing this, the demigods became disheartened and at once desisted from battle. Ravan then instructed Meghnad, "Go ahead of me and take Indra to Lanka. I will join you there shortly." In this way, Indra, the king of heaven, became a prisoner of the Rakshasas within their capital city. Lord Brahma took all the demigods with him and went to Lanka while remaining stationed in the sky. The universal grandsire addressed Ravan as follows: "The prowess and valor exhibited by your son is wonderful indeed. Because of his dramatic victory over the king of heaven, let Meghnad from this day onward be known as Indrajit." So Meghnad was named Indrajit after he secured the victory over the king of heaven, Indra. "O king of the Rakshasas, I request you to release Indra. In exchange, I shall reward your son with an incomparable benediction." Indrajit exclaimed, "I shall give up Indra for the boon of immortality." Lord Brahma, however, replied, "It is not possible for any of the created beings to have unconditional immortality. Therefore, my dear prince, please ask for something else." As an alternative, Indrajit said, "Grant me the following. At the time of battle, if I offer oblations into the sacrificial fire according to the Vedic injunctions, let a huge chariot emerge from the flames. Then, as long as I remain seated upon the chariot, let me be immune to death. Thus, only if I engage in battle without having finished the chanting of mantras and offering of oblations will I be subject to destruction. Some people seek immortality through the performance of austerities, but I have acquired it simply by exhibiting my prowess." Lord Brahma granted Indrajit's request, and in turn the Rakshasas released Indra. After this incident, Indra became morose and his bodily luster faded. Lord Brahma approached him and asked, "What grievous sin did you commit in the past that is now causing you to suffer so much?" Without waiting for Indra to reply, the all-knowing Brahma narrated the following story. In the beginning of creation, there was only one type of human being, no distinction in their bodily features. Then, to create diversity and increase the population, I created the first woman, giving her name Ahalya, which means one who does not possess even the slightest ugliness. While contemplating whose partner this girl would be, I kept her in the care of Gautam Rishi for many years. Indra, during this time, you confidently assumed that I would give Ahalya to you as a consort. However, when Gautam later returned the girl to me, I was impressed by his self-control. I decided that Ahalya could become his wife. All the demigods, especially yourself, were upset by my decision. Thus, being overcome by lust and anger, you went to Gautam's ashram, and when you saw the beautiful Ahalya, you forcibly raped her. After your departure, Gautam came to know of your sinful act. Thus, in great anger, he cursed you, saying, "One day, O lusty king of heaven, you will be captured by your enemies while fighting on the battlefield." Furthermore, when this abominable act that you have initiated becomes prevalent in human society, Anyone who commits this sin will get only half of the reaction, and you will get another half. Thus, from now on, the position as the king of heaven will never be secure, not only for you, but the future Indras also. So this heinous act was first committed by Indra. Now we know. And persons who commit this bad, shameful act, they get half sinful reaction, and the other half sinful reaction still goes to Indra, because he is the one who initiated this, who started this abominable act. After chastising Indra, Gautam cursed his wife for her infidelity, saying, "From now on you must remain in this ashram as a stone pillar. Additionally, you will no longer have the distinction of being the only woman. All other women will receive a share of your beauty." Ahalya then pleaded, "My dear husband, Indra came here disguised as you and then forcibly raped me. Please be merciful unto me, for I am faultless." Gautam then informed his wife, "In the future, Lord Vishnu will take the birth in the Ikshvaku dynasty, and he will be known as Ram. In the course of performing his transcendental pastimes, he will come here in the company of Vishwamitra. By seeing Lord Ram and offering him your hospitality, you will become free from my curse and reinstated as my wife." Brahma continued, "My dear Indra, you should know that all of your present difficulties are due to the curse of Gautam. To counteract the effects of that curse, I suggest that you perform a sacrifice to please Lord Vishnu. In this way, you will become purified and thus be able to return to your post in heaven. Now, there is one more thing you may know from me. Your son has been taken away by Puloma and is being kept deep within the ocean. Thereafter, by following Lord Brahma's directions, Indra regained his heavenly position and became free from all anxiety." While hearing about the extraordinary prowess of Indrajit, Ram and Lakshman uttered exclamations of great wonder. Then Ram again inquired, "O best of the rishis, was there ever an instance of a Kshatriya who defeated Ravan?" Agastya replied, "Once while wandering over the earth, Ravan came to the city." So Agastya Rishi, he is describing all this to Lord Ram. Ravan came to the city of Mahishmati, ruled by Kartavirya Arjuna, king of the Hayas. That day, Kartavirya Arjuna had gone to the river Narmada to enjoy himself in water with many attractive women. Thus, when Ravan inquired from a minister about Kartavirya Arjuna's whereabouts, he was informed that the king had gone out. Ravan departed, and after going to the Vindhya mountains, he came to the banks of Narmada. Stepping down from the Pushpak chariot, Ravan sat down on the shore with his ministers and said, "This holy river is very glorious. You should all take ritualistic bath to relieve yourself of all sinful reactions. Meanwhile, I shall engage in the worship of Lord Shiv. Bring me some flowers for an offering." While the ministers looked for mountain flowers for Ravan's offering, Ravan took his bath and chanted the Gayatri mantra. Coming out of the water, Ravan took off his wet clothes and put on new white garments. Ravan always kept a shivling with him. Now he placed the deity in the sand and began dancing in ecstasy before it, waving his arms about. Kartavirya Arjuna was a short distance downstream, sporting with his female companions, desiring to test the strength of his 1,000 arms. Kartavirya Arjuna began to block the water's flow, thus the water backed up, overflowing its banks and washing away Ravan's flowers. Just as he was about to offer them in worship, at this Ravan angrily summoned Shuk and Saran, ordering them to find out the cause of the river's unnatural flow. Rising into the air, all the ministers went down stream. When they had gone only 4 miles, they saw Kartavirya Arjun playfully blocking the river's flow. When Ravan heard this, he immediately set out for battle, accompanied by all his ministers. While going along, Ravan saw numerous inauspicious omens. Still, without being deterred in the least, Ravan soon came within Kartavirya Arjun's vicinity. When Kartavirya Arjun's ministers approached him, Ravan ordered, "Announce my arrival to your king and tell him I have come to challenge him to fight." So, Agastya Rishi is describing at the moment to us that this king, who was the king of the Haihyas, and how he is, I think, the one who defeated Ravan. So this is being described to Lord Ram at the moment. One of the ministers replied, "It is not proper for you to challenge Kartavirya Arjun while he is still intoxicated and in the company of women. Therefore, please spend the night here, and in the morning you can fight. However, if you are so impatient that you cannot wait, then you will have to defeat us before approaching our master." Responding to their challenge, Ravan's minister immediately killed and devoured Kartavirya Arjun's ministers. Kartavirya Arjun's army then rushed at the intruders, but they too were soon exterminated. The survivors then hastily went to report what happened to Kartavirya Arjun. Hearing this, the king got out of the water, grabbed his club, and began to drive away the Rakshasas. Prahasta daringly stood up to Kartavirya Arjun and hurled an inflaming mace. The Haihya king deftly deflected it with his own mace and then severely struck Prahasta, knocking him to the ground. Seeing Prahasta fallen, Ravan's other ministers ran away in fear. Ravan then rushed at Kartavirya Arjun and they proceeded to violently strike each other with their clubs. However, they neither grew tired. Then Kartavirya Arjun hurled his club against Ravan's chest. Although the club broke into pieces, Ravan was thrown backwards a bow's length, crying out as he fell to the ground in agony. Kartavirya Arjun quickly rushed forward and after catching hold of Ravan, tied him up with a strong rope. The demigods were elated to witness this heroic feat. Thus they showered Kartavirya Arjun with flowers while continually praising him. Prahasta and other Rakshasas then rushed forward while throwing torrents of weapons. However, Kartavirya Arjun simply caught all of these weapons in his hands and drove away with the Rakshasas. He then took the captive Ravan and entered Mahishmati, his city. When Pulastya heard that his grandson was being held captive, he went to meet Kartavirya Arjun. When the ministers saw the great Rishi descending from the heavens, they hurriedly informed the Haihya king of his arrival. Kartavirya Arjun then came before Pulastya with folded hands. After providing him with a royal reception, he asked, "O foremost of illustrious personalities, of what service can I be?" Pulastya replied, "Kindly release the Rakshas king, for you have proven that your power far excels his." Without uttering a word, Kartavirya Arjun released Ravan. The ruler of the Haihyas also gave the Rakshas king various presents, thus forming an alliance between the two. Finally, Kartavirya Arjun bowed down before Pulastya, Ravan's grandfather, and entered his palace, while the son of Lord Brahma, Pulastya, ascended into the sky. Although Ravan was embarrassed because of his defeat, so Pulastya is the grandfather of Ravan, and Pulastya is the son of Brahma. Now Ravan became embarrassed, of course. So finally, because of his defeat, and he continued to wander over the earth, defeating countless Kshatriyas. Finally, he came to Kishkindhya, ruled by Vali, who wore a golden necklace presented to him by King Indra. When Ravan expressed of his desire to fight, Sushen, Angad, Sugriv, and the minister Tara replied, "Vali is not here now, but he will be returning shortly. O great Rakshas hero, just look at this heap of bones. This is all that remains of those who challenged Vali in the past. We can assure you that you will come to a similar end, my dear king. If you are very impatient, not wishing to wait, then you can find Vali on the shore of the southern ocean. Ravan then mounted the Pushpak chariot and flew to the southern sea. There he saw Vali absorbed in saying prayers. Ravan wanted to capture the Monkey King alive and began to creep up silently from behind. Vali, however, was able to see Ravan from the corner of his eye. Remaining undisturbed, Vali thought, I shall capture this Rakshas when he comes close by and keep him under my arm. Then, leaving him dangling, I will complete my worship by visiting the 3 other oceans. Vali could hear Ravan's footsteps. When he drew close, Vali suddenly whirled about and caught him. Then, pressing Ravan tightly under his arm, Vali sprang into the air toward his next destination. Ravan's ministers quickly came to his rescue, but they could not catch Vali. Thus Vali continued his tour of the 4 seas and finally returned to Kishkindha. Vali was exhausted from carrying Ravan such a great distance and thus put him down in the park. Then, laughing disdainfully at Ravan, Vali asked the dazed Rakshas who he was. With genuine admiration, Ravan introduced himself and said, the astonishing speed that you travel through the air is only matched by the 3 other: Mind, Vayu and Garud. So this is how swift or quick Vali was. His travel speed was only matched by Mind, Vayu and Garud, in Ravan's words. O the king of the monkeys, you truly are an exceptional hero. However, I want to establish friendly relations with you. Please accept me as your ally. Thereafter, a sacrificial fire was lit, and when their friendship was thus formalized, Ravan and Vali warmly embraced. Ravan continued to reside at Kishkindha for a month as the honored guest of the monkey chief. At this point, Ram said, O Rishi, Ravan and Vali were certainly powerful heroes, but I feel that Hanuman's prowess exceeds both of them. Indeed, during my conquest of Lanka, it was he alone who enabled me to become victorious and recover Sita. I cannot properly express my debt to Hanuman, the best of my unalloyed servitors. O great sage, I still have some doubt that I pray you can dispel. Why is it that when there was enmity between Vali and Sugriv, that Hanuman did not vanquish Vali? I think Hanuman could have been aware of his own prowess. Otherwise, how could he have stood by idly and watched Sugriv suffer? O foremost of rishis, you are the knower of all mysterious truths. Therefore, please explain the transcendental pastimes of Hanuman so my doubt can be removed. So it's a nice day to read about Hanumanji. Today is Tuesday, the day of Hanuman. Hanuman was also present in the assembly, listening to the conversation, and he experienced great transcendental bliss upon hearing Ram's statement. The great sage Agastya then answered, It is true that no one can equal Hanuman in strength, speed or intelligence. I will repeat, no one can equal Hanuman in strength, speed or intelligence. The ultimate virtues a person is looking for. But unfortunately, nobody has all 3. Isari, a monkey chief who used to reside on Mount Meru, after delivering the child, Anjana went to gather some fruit for him. In her absence, however, the hungry baby started to cry. At that time, the sun began to rise. When the baby monkey saw the luminous orange globe, he thought it was a fruit and suddenly sprang upwards to catch it. Remember, it wasn't no ordinary baby. It was baby Hanuman. When the demigods saw the son of Vayu flying swiftly through the air, they became astonished, declaring, Not even the mind or Garud can move so fast. If this monkey shows so much ability as a baby, what he will be like when he grows up. Vayu followed his son to protect him from the scorching heat of the sunshine. Then as the baby monkey approached, Surya refrained from consuming him in consideration of his childish innocence and the future mission he would perform on behalf of Ram. Thus the son of Vayu was able to take his seat upon the chariot next to Surya. Just at the time Rahu happened to come to attack sun god, instinctively The baby monkey grabbed Rahu, but in the next moment, Rahu, the worst of the planetary controllers, slipped from his clutches. Rahu fearfully approached Indra and complained, "Although I have been allotted the sun and moon as the means for appeasing my hunger, it appears that my share has been appropriated by another. Just now, when I approached the sun god, I saw that another Rahu was attacking him." Indra was quite astonished to hear this, and he thus mounted Airavat and set out toward the sun. Rahu had gone ahead, and when the son of Vayu saw him coming, he considered him to be a type of gigantic fruit and sprang from Surya's chariot to catch him. Rahu immediately began to flee, crying out for Indra's protection. Thus the king of heaven, who approached from nearby, gave him assurance. Then when the hungry baby sighted Airavat, the elephant of Indra, he took the elephant to be an enormous white fruit and rushed toward him. So we can just imagine how massive or how big this baby elephant, monkey, that is Hanumanji, was. That he is considering all these enormous entities approaching him to be some kind of fruit to be eaten. When Indra saw the son of Vayu approaching, he immediately released his thunderbolt. The baby monkey crashed down on a mountain, broke his jaw, and thus gave up his life. This enraged Vayu, who then took his son and withdrew into a mountain cave. Wow, I had never known this story about Lord Ram, so it's nice to, about Lord Hanuman, so it's interesting to read. Vayu ceased acting as the air of respiration, and all the living entities began to suffocate. Their bowels, their bladders becoming obstructed. With bloated bellies, the demigods hurriedly approached Lord Brahma, anxiously informing him of their plight. Lord Brahma said, "O celestials, it is due to Vayu's anger that you are now suffering. Just try to understand the importance of the wind god. Although he has no perceivable material body, he moves within the bodies of all created beings. Indeed, without the wind, a material body is no better than a block of wood. Therefore, I suggest that we all approach Vayu and pacify him for the welfare of the entire world." Lord Brahma led the demigods to Vayu's cave. The wind god was tormented by the death of his son, whose body he still held in his arms. After Vayu offered his obeisances, Lord Brahma affectionately placed his hand upon the baby monkey's head and immediately brought him back to life. So Lord Brahma revived the baby. Now, upon the revival of his son, Vayu resumed circulating within all creatures. Thus the living entities again became joyful. Lord Brahma then told the assembled demigods, "In future this child will act for your welfare, thus all of you should award him benedictions." Hearing Lord Brahma's command, Indra took off his garland of lotus flowers and placed it around Hanuman's neck. Indra declared, because of his broken jaw, this child will be henceforth known as Hanuman. So the name Hanuman was given to Hanumanji because of his broken jaw. And it is also written some places it says broken chin. He need no longer fear my thunderbolt, for he will be immune to its effects. The sun god announced, "I hereby donate 1% of my brilliance to Hanuman. Furthermore, I grant him the knowledge of scriptures and benedict him with eloquent speech." Yamraj then said, "I grant Hanuman immunity from my rod of death and from all diseases." Kuber declared, "Let Hanuman be immune to my mace and never become tired in battle." Lord Shiva said, "I grant that Hanuman will be never killed by me or one of my weapons." And Vishwakarma announced, "I award Hanuman the benediction that he cannot be killed by any weapon I have manufactured." Lastly, Lord Brahma said, "I grant Hanuman a long life, magnanimity, immunity to the Brahmastra, and immunity to the curses of Brahmanas." So how lucky was Hanumanji? He got 7 amazing benedictions from Brahma, Vishwakarma, Shiva, Kuber, Yamraj, and sun god. Lord Brahma then said to Vayu, this child will be able to change his form at will and shall be unconquerable. Now this is some kind of another boon we can say from Lord Brahma. And he will be able to travel wherever he likes, and at any speed he chooses. In the future he will perform glorious activities that will aid in the destruction of Ravan. Thus he will become very pleasing to Lord Ram. The demigods departed. The Vayu placed Hanuman under the care of his mother Anjana. After receiving so many benedictions, Hanuman was bursting with energy. He began acting fearlessly. Sometimes he even offended prominent rishis by interrupting their sacrifices and breaking their paraphernalia. While Hanuman indulged in these pranks, the rishis tolerated him, for they knew that he was immune to death from their curses due to Lord Brahma's benedictions. Hanuman's foster father Kesari and his natural father Vayu tried their best to discipline him. Still, Hanuman continued to transgress the bounds of propriety. Thus the rishis became a little angered at him and declared that for now you shall remain ignorant of your true prowess. At the proper time you will again become aware of your full potency. Thereafter Hanuman began wandering through the forest in a peaceful mood. At this time the king of the monkeys, Raksharaj, succumbed to death from old age. His eldest son Vali assumed the throne, while Sugriv became the heir apparent. From childhood, Hanuman and Sugriv were best friends. However, when hostility broke between the two brothers, Hanuman was not aware of his true prowess, and thus he did not help Sugriv fight Vali. Because of his ignorance of his great power, Hanuman became more interested in the cultivation of knowledge than the exhibition of force. To learn all the areas of Vedic knowledge, he would follow the sun god the full distance from where he rises to where he sets. Hanuman would put forward innumerable questions, and thus eventually he became as learned in the Vedas as Brihaspati. In this way, Agastya Rishi described the glories of Hanuman. Ram, Lakshman and monkey chiefs were amazed and delighted to hear them. When the assembled rishis decided to go, Ram said, now that I have been installed as an emperor, I want to perform many sacrifices for the welfare of the world. I request that you all return home so that the sacrifices may be performed under your supervision. Happily giving their consent, the rishis departed. The next morning, awakened by the professional singers who recited his glories, Ram bathed and sat down to perform the fire sacrifices. After that, he visited the palace temple and proceeded to the royal court. Seated upon the royal throne and surrounded by his ministers, servants and 20 of the monkey chiefs, Ram administered the state government in an exemplary manner. King Janak was one of many great kings that came to Ayodhya to attend Ram's coronation. After some time, Ram approached him saying, my dear father-in-law, you should now return to your kingdom Vidarbha, lest it become neglected. Bharat and Shatrugna will escort you there with a large army. Janak consented, and Ram honored him with many valuable presentations. Janak gave all the presents to his beloved daughter Sita and happily departed for home. Ram then addressed his maternal uncle, the Kaikeyi king Yudhajit, because your father is now very old, you too should return to your kingdom to take care of him. Lakshman will accompany you with a large army. Yudhajit gave his consent, and after his departure, Ram bid farewell to his friend the king of Kashi. Altogether, Ram bid farewell to 300 kings and princes that had come to Ayodhya to celebrate his coronation. After returning home, all these kings sent their escorts back with many valuable presentations for Ram. When he received all these gifts, Ram immediately gave them away to Sugriv, Vibhishan and other monkeys and Rakshasas. One day Ram took Hanuman and Angad upon his lap and told Sugriv, these two great heroes deserve every possible honor. Ram then took off the ornaments from his body and decorated Hanuman and Angad with them. The other monkey heroes were also present, and so Ram sweetly said, you are not only my dear friends but are just like my brothers. Ram embraced all the monkeys and gave them various presents. I think we've done enough reading for today. We will continue next time. Thank you for joining. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna.